Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I've got to get ready to go to work and I thought we could do it together. I would love to know how your month is going. I can't believe that we're more than halfway through this month. Where has the time gone? I have no clue. This month is one of those months where I feel like it's just the beginning, like we're easing into like all the crazy. There are two birthdays in my family this month. My dad and my husband have October birthdays. And my husband's birthday was earlier this week, and my dad's is still coming up. And this is when I realized that I don't have my ducks in a row. I don't have hardly anything planned. I've been really bad. And part of it is, and this is like a really bad excuse, but I started working this year in March. And I feel like since I am now trying to do all the things I was doing when I wasn't working, and still working, like adding that one extra thing in the mix, I feel like I've lost my ability to be organized. I don't know what is going on with me, but yeah, so I kind of got to get my ducks in a row. This is the first year in probably more than a decade that I didn't actually make like dessert for my husband's birthday. Usually I'll make, he loves chocolate, so I make a chocolate cake, or I make a chocolate cream pie, or I make chocolate cup, I make something. And that's, I love to cook and I love to be in the kitchen and I love to bake. And it's kind of like me pulling out all the stops and going over the top. And remember the year I made a 6-layer salted caramel chocolate cake? It was the most extravagant. It was amazing, but I'll tell you, I felt so it felt so funny this year going and ordering a cake from the bakery. There's a bakery really close to my office, and I was like, I don't have time to make dinner as well as bake because I was working on his birthday, and I was like, uh-oh. It's either dinner or it's the dessert. And I was like, what do you want? He's like, I'd rather you make dinner. So that's what I did, but I was like, what is going on? I can't get my ducks in a row. I don't know, I've been feeling a little, and then I realized Thanksgiving is just around the corner, Christmas is just around the corner, New Year's is just around the corner, and with, you know, all of these kind of special events coming up, if I don't get it together, I'm gonna be a disaster. All right, this is something that I picked up new. If you haven't seen it, I will link it for you here as well as the description box down below. But I recently picked up the Estee Lauder Blockbuster for 2022. I have a complete review where I try everything on, and it's one of those things where it's a purchase with purchase, where you have to purchase something, $45 or more, and I decided to pick this up. I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear, I have the Sheer Double Wear, and I really like both of those formulas. Double Wear is kind of like my favorite full coverage foundation, and I really like the Sheer Wear, but this is one of those products that I have never tried, and this is what I purchased to be able to get the Blockbuster, but this is the Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup. I have the lightest shade in 1N0, I think. Yeah, 1N0 Porcelain. And I didn't know, because look how thin this is. It says it's full coverage. And I was like, are you sure? So we're trying this on today. I thought, and I'll just admit, when I was at the counter at Macy's, I was like, out of all the things that Estee Lauder sells, what do I want? And it wasn't like I went there with a product in mind. And that's the same thing I did last year. I'm just gonna use a clean beauty sponge. Last year I went and to make the purchase with purchase to get the Blockbuster, I ended up picking up their Radiant Concealer, which I love. And it's kind of been one of my favorite products of last year. And it wasn't new. It was one of those that had been there and I had just never tried it. And so I kind of felt like I had been doing good. I'm like, you know what? I like their foundations. Oh, look, they have my shade. Because for the longest time, Double Wear, the lightest shade they had was 1N1. And it was too dark for me, and so I could never wear Double Wear. And then they expanded their shade range, which I think is amazing. And I'm glad that they have a shade that works for me, but I didn't expect that they would do the same thing in all of their formulations, because the lightest shade they have in the Sheer Wear is 1N1. And because it is sheer, it works. It works better in the summertime. But this is supposed to be like a full coverage. I don't know that I would say this is full coverage. I would say this is medium, but it looks so pretty on the skin. And I like that I tapped on just a little bit of the Beauty Pie color corrector over this hyperpigmentation spot. But it looks pretty good. You might not have noticed, and maybe you couldn't miss it, but I have the remnants of a little acne friend right here. And I feel like, you know, this is doing a pretty good job of covering most of it. This is not the most perfect match. I feel like we're a little darker here than right here, and I don't like to take foundation much lower than like right here. Like I blend it in between like the jaw and the top of the neck, and I guess I'm considering this part here at the top of the neck. I don't want to take it all the way down to get like the perfect from here to here, because then I would get it on my clothes. I know, you think that I'd want to look perfect and even everywhere. Yeah, but I don't want to have to wash it off of like the neckline, or I don't know how many blouses I've ruined accidentally by, you know, pulling the top over and getting makeup just right here. Imagine if I was blending this all the way down. Oh, it would be a disaster. I don't have time or energy for that. But I really like the way this looks. I feel like it's good. It's not perfect. I feel like the only perfect foundation I have for me is the Lisa Eldridge. But I think this is gonna look fantastic once we get it set with powder. I am gonna throw on some of the Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Concealer. I wear the lightest shade in this as well. This is 0.5N. I'm gonna put a little bit here. I don't really know that I need it, but I'm gonna put concealer in the regular places. Definitely here on my little friend and on some of my dark spots. I have no idea what's going on here. My hair is on the struggle bus today. I tried to get it to kind of like not poke out, and I just gave up. I gave up. I don't have the energy or the time for this today. I need to get my makeup on and I need to get to work. I'm really liking the place this is settled. I really like how glowy this is, but because I am going to work today, I wear a mask every time I'm in a room with a patient, and I'm gonna be, you know, doing that all day today. I have to set my face with powder. I'm gonna use one of my favorites. This is the One Powder Wonder. I have a backup because we're getting to the bottoms here. This is Beauty Pie's One Powder Wonder. I'm gonna lightly set my entire face with this, but I'm gonna start by kind of hitting my under eyes. I'm pretty happy with the way things look right now. I feel like the coverage is good. I kind of wish I wasn't working today so I could wear this and not have to set my full face and just set like my T-zone, where I tend to have most problems with foundations breaking up or settling into, you know, some of my expression lines. But I'm gonna definitely keep trying this foundation, but I think it actually is really pretty, and it looks skin-like even though it's pretty heavily powdered. All right, so I'm going to be using, this is one of the things that came in that set from Estee Lauder. I'm going to be using the bronzer in here and maybe the highlight. I feel like maybe this blush might be a little too much for today. In years past, I've never allowed myself to get both the beauty box from Lancome and the train case, the Blockbuster from Estee Lauder, because that's a lot of holiday purchases. But you know what, this year, they both really lured me in. If you've already watched both of those reviews, you probably know that it was one of those things where I you know, maybe wasn't kind of intending to. I usually choose one or the other, and I wasn't sure which way I was gonna go. And then I saw them and I was like, these are both really good. And I kind of couldn't help myself. Now, Sephora sale is coming up. And I was like, should I have spent all of that at Lancome and Estee Lauder? But the truth is, I really feel like what I picked up, I'm gonna use. This feels like a beautiful product. And I really like that I was able to get like one mascara on the Lancome website and it got bundled with the other. I know you're supposed to pay like $42, you know, to make a purchase, and then you can purchase the rest of the beauty box for $75. But on the Lancome website, you can bundle it with something as simple as a mascara. And that's what I did. And for the price of the Monsieur Big, my favorite mascara that I have not been without since it debuted 5 years ago. I'm like, more mascara that I already love and use, and let's try the train case. The other thing that I like about this is, and this is kind of where I show my age, I'll be 48 in January, is that I remember and I love, before there was a Sephora, before there was an Ulta, the going into a department store was the most luxurious feeling, and going up to one of the beauty counters and talking to one of the representatives and sitting down in the chair. Did you ever do that? Do you have those memories? I mean, you still can do that, but now it's less of a thing because we all kind of go through Sephora or Ulta, or we swatch things at the counters ourselves, and it's less like making an appointment and sitting down and, you know, they do your makeup and, you know, they try and sell you things and you try and think, what can I afford? I don't know. It was really nostalgic to go into a Macy's and talk to the Estee Lauder lady and talk about, okay, well, I'm looking for something like this, and she would make a recommendation and I would, you know, check it out. I don't know. These holiday gift sets, because that's the experience, it really reminds me of like my younger years and nostalgia. And I kind of miss the going into a department store, because now I just order all most of my beauty online and I don't get that same in-store experience. I don't know. So it was something that I enjoyed, but it also reminded me of how a lot of these more legacy brands that have been around for decades have some really nice products, because I'm always interested in, you know, trying products from newer brands, or, you know, a new release from kind of like a trendy brand. And I really feel like, you know, like this Bronze Goddess bronzer, this is beautiful. I forgot that it's such a good product, and I've had like a full size of it forever. But I think that having this little cheek palette, it's small, it's easy to put in, you know, my makeup drawers and things like that. It's gonna be something I reach for regularly. This was the palette that came in the beauty box from Lancome. I'm gonna use, and I'm a little bit worried about it, I'm gonna use this kind of really bright pinky blush here. Ooh, that's a lot. But when it blended out, it was so pretty the other day. Light application, and we'll see how we go. I already feel like I'm in clown territory. Like, clown cheeks are here. And I'm trying so hard using a little wispy brush and knocking off all the excess, and here I am still with like my 1980s clown cheeks. I'm a blush lover though. I can't seem to stop myself. And maybe it's too bold of a color for me, because, you know, it's pretty bold. Before I get going any farther, I'm going to take a light dusting of this highlighting powder from Beauty Pie. This is the One Powder Wonder in Exquisite Light. I'm going to take a really lightweight duo fiber brush and just kind of, I think it's going to highlight, but it's also going to help bring down a little bit of the intensity of my over blushed situation here. I used this, when I first got this powder, I was using it only as highlight, and it is a little glowy, but I used it the other day on a whim, like all over, and it was kind of pretty. I just have to be careful that I don't overdo it, because I don't want to look like the Tin Man, and you certainly can. But I feel like with a really soft duo fiber brush and, you know, taking the time just to continue to buff it in, I feel like my clown cheeks have been resolved to normal cheeks. We'll see. I need to fill in my eyebrows just a little bit. I have been using the Ordinary's eyelash and eyebrow serum recently, and I feel like it's doing a really good job. I feel like I have a lot more hairs like right in through here than I used to. I've been using something I've been getting on Amazon, which had worked, but then I went a couple months without it, and I feel like whatever progress I had made went away. So I'm trying to be really good about using it daily, and I really feel like I'm starting to see a difference again. I would love to know how you're handling all of the holiday releases. Some people are really good at just like, I don't look, I don't know, I don't care. And the hard part for me is it's one of my favorite things. And it's one of the times of the year where I enjoy seeing what there is a lot, even if I don't make a purchase, but then the more I look, the more I want. So I have to, you know, balance the, ooh, look what they're doing, with the you don't really need it part. But I always make a purchase during the Sephora sale, the holiday shopping event, and I feel like their fall sale is coming up, and I was thinking, you know, what am I planning on getting? And some years have been really bad where I buy all sorts of things like skincare, hair care, makeup, like everything. And some years I'm like, I'm only getting what I need. And I'm really good at that. And so I don't know, I feel kind of like it would be nice to keep it to the reasonable years where I don't buy everything. But if you're planning on picking something up during the sale, I would love to know what it is and how you kind of balance the not too much, just enough, what will I actually use. I'm going to use these cooler shades over here. This is Love and Happiness, and this is Unconditional. I'm going to use both of these shades. They're from Sydney Grace, to kind of build a little bit of depth and then put something super sparkly over the top. I picked this up a while ago, and I've had so much new makeup coming into my collection, I really haven't had a chance to use it. So I'm going to go for kind of the lavender and the purple shade in here and see what I can do. I'm going to start out with this kind of really pretty metallic shade that I'm going to pat over much of the eye. I've always loved this formula from Flower Beauty. I have the Desert Lights that I love so much. I picked it up for the first time this year and was super impressed with it. And I know neither the Desert Lights or the Jungle Lights are new palettes, but I just think they're really good. Really, really good. I do have a little bit of sparkle that fell out, but we'll deal with that. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of this kind of darker to the outside corner. I normally don't go for shades like this, but I haven't used it, so I don't feel like it's fair to say I don't like it until I know. But this is definitely outside my norm, this dark metallic-y purple shade. This got a little darker than I intended. That's okay, that's okay. We're just gonna embrace it and roll with it. But I normally don't wear eyeshadow this dark to work, but who knows, maybe that's changing. The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull in this shade here. This is another Sydney Gray single. This one's called the Milky Way. And I definitely want a little something in the inner corner that's gonna have a fun, this is a little bit of a duochrome, a fun little shift. I usually pull in a shade like Winter Garden or something like that here. This is a little darker than I normally go for the inner corner. That's okay, I think it'll be fun. I'm using the shade Very Pretty Plum from Beauty Pie to line my lids today. It's definitely going to be a more subtle look, but I like that. I don't know that this is that subtle, but the liner won't be like right there. I'm throwing on my favorite work mascara. This is the Hamish Smudge Stop. It's a tubing formula, but I like that it can give me some nice length and a little bit of volume, and it comes off so easy at the end of the day. The other reason I really love a tubing formula is that in the work that I do as a dental assistant, I am frequently, sitting up over a patient looking down, and my lashes kind of reach up and touch like right up here. And when I'm wearing a non-tubing formula, I sometimes can get transfer, and I don't with this, which I love. For lipstick today, I'm going to be using the lipstick from Beauty Pie. This is the shade Sheer Mocha. And I think I'm going to mix that with a little bit of Nothing On. I feel like this is a little darker than I want it to be. I like the way that looks better. I will drop Nothing On in my scrubs pocket, take it with me to work today, and we'll see how I do underneath my mask. But there's a lot of eye look. So if you're looking at me from here up, I'm all purple eyes today. Here's hoping that all the extra noise from the people who are doing my neighbor's yard is mostly done. Anyway, this is the look I settled on. I feel like it actually came to a really good place. It's a little more than I normally wear, like here up for work, but that's okay. I was having fun and I couldn't not. So I would love to know, are there things that you have been loving that you're trying that are new? Things that you kind of aren't brand new, but are new to you that you have been like, you know what, this is actually pretty good. I think it looks really good when it's fully powdered, but I'm super excited to see what it's gonna look like when I just strategically powder under eyes, T-zone, and then how does it wear all day long? I would love to know, what are your experiences with this if you have this foundation? I've seen some really good reviews about it, but I kind of really just picked it up on a whim. The other thing I wanna know is, how are you handling holiday like releases, shopping events, special things that are coming up? Because like that Sephora sale, I'm thinking about that so much. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I'll see you again soon.